to welcome to Introduction to Microsoft Excel. Hi everyone, thanks for joining tonight. Welcome to another session of Microsoft Excel. Excel basically is a spreadsheet program. We use it to record and analyze data, and it's made up of columns and rows. Can I just check that you can see my screen? Okay. I'm just checking that. Yeah, okay, thanks. Thanks for confirming that. Okay. So what you're looking at is an example of a spreadsheet. And this is going to be the basic session. So we're going to be looking at topics like creating a new workbook. You call an Excel file a workbook. Understanding workbook, how do you type text? What do all these grids? You can see the grids, what do they mean? How do you type numbers? How do you type dates? How do you fill? We're going to look at simple formulas and how to select. So, and how to edit a workbook and make it nice and pretty. So these are all beginner knowledge that we'll be doing today. And next week, we'll go into more intermediate. So to start, you have your laptop, you need to open an Excel sheet. All you need to do is go to your start button and open Excel. And when you open Excel, you come up with this blank screen. So when you open Excel, this is what you get. You get a blank screen like this. I'm just gonna collapse this. Okay. I don't know, I'm trying to move this away from it. So this is your blank screen in Excel. So it's made up of columns and rows. So these are your columns. Your columns are A, B, C, D, E, and so on. And your rows are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. To basically use an Excel, you just need to click where you want to type in. So click anywhere and then begin typing. And if you notice, all these grids, they all have addresses. Just like you have your address, your house address, all these cells, they have addresses. So for instance, if you see where I'm clicking, the address will be made up of the column and the row. So this is D1, and you can see it here, up here, D1. If you click anywhere else, this is G9. You can see the address here. So the address is quite useful, when you're using formulas, because once you put that G9, if you put equal to G9, you are telling Excel to go to that place. So it's just like putting an address on your sat nav, and you're telling Excel to go to that location. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to put some data in. So we're on cell, let's start with cell B2. I usually use my shopping list. So we're going to Tesco. Or maybe let's do something else today. Yeah, Tesco is fine. So we're going to Tesco and we want to create a shopping list. So I've simply just clicked on that cell B2 and typed in Tesco. And all I need to do to move away from that cell is enter on my keyboard. And enter will take you to the next cell. So the default is to the next cell. And then I want to create my shopping list. So let's start by numbering. So I have 1, that's my item number 1 that I want to buy, enter. I have 2, enter. I want to buy 10 items. The good thing with Excel is I don't have to keep on typing 3, enter, 4, enter. All I need to do is, I think I'm jumping the gun. But I will come back to that later. let's start with the tax bar before we start imputing. So the tax bar, it defaults to home, and you can see some items here. So all these things, paste, cut, copy, format printer. Then you have another task here, insert. You have page layout. You have your formula. You have your data. You have your review, and you have your view. So these are all basic tasks, and they do different things. So as we go along, then you will see what the different things do. So we're in Tesco, and we're making a simple shopping list. So I've typed in 1, I've typed in 2. I don't want to keep on typing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's time consuming. The good thing with Excel is I can just select these two. And the way you select is you click on that cell and the other cell. So you hold your mouse button down. So you click on the cell without releasing your left mouse. Just drag it to the next one. That's how you select. And then this is selected. It will show the data in like a box. If you notice, there's a point here just at the bottom right side of my box, just here, like a dot. If I put my cursor here, can you see that changed? It changes based on what you want to do. So if I put it here, you can see it's a solid cross. And then if I put it here, it's like a thin cross. And all I need to do to get to 10 is, once it changes to that cross, press your left mouse down and just drag it. You can see by the side that the numbers, you can see the numbers. So I actually know where to stop. If I want to do 15, I know this is where to stop. Bear in mind that my mouse button is still pressed down. And it's until I release, is when I release it that these numbers will show. I'm releasing it now. And I have 1 to 10. So this might be a short list, but you can imagine when you want to like number up to like 5,000, for instance, all you need to do is just drag it down. And then you have the numbers. And so those are my numbers. I'm just going to move Tesco to another cell. And the way I'm moving it is just click on it. Once it changes to this cross with like arrows, I can just move it to wherever I want to move it to. So the way to move it is press your left mouse down. Once it changes to this, move it. And that is it. And once you get where you want to move it to, release it. So I'm moving it there. So the reason why I moved it there is because I want to make this, I want to put a heading on this. So item, and then I want to buy, so no, these are numbers. Just do product here. And I want to buy, I'm just going to type in a few things to buy in Tesco. What's the mango picture? I'm just typing in a few things to buy in Tesco. And bananas. And I want juice. And I want cheese. Okay. So this is my Tesco shopping list. I have a particular budget. So probably I only have 20 pounds that I want to spend in Tesco. And I want to make sure that, when I get to Tesco, the 20 pounds I want to cover, I want to buy all these things. So I'm making a list. So milk, the price of milk is let's assume this is, I'm just going to put some arbitrary prices here. Okay. So this is price per item. And so price per item. And I'm buying quantity. So this is the quantity I want to buy. So let's assume I'm buying 5 for 1. Okay. We're going to do a simple formula. And this is where Excel gets interesting because you can actually really use it for a lot of things. So I've put some arbitrary prices here for these items I want to buy. I've put a quantity I want to buy. So how do I know how much I'm going to spend? Remember, I have a budget of £20. I just want to have a rough idea so that by the time I get to the till, I won't be embarrassed that, I don't have enough money to pay for what I've taken. So I have milk and I have, I'm buying 2. So this is my price. This is my price per item. For us to differentiate these two, I'm going to format this table so that we actually know that these are prices. So I want to put like the pound sign here. And the way I do it is I have a tax bar here on my own page. If you look at this tax bar here, can you see something like money? I can just go here and pick pound, and you can see that the format has changed. So that helps you, it helps to make it nice. There are other ways to do this. I'm just going to, if I want to undo what I have done, this is the button for undo. So I want to undo that, and then it goes back to what it was. The other ways of editing this, so I can just select, if you right click, you have some options, and you can format cells, and then I have this dialog box. So I can format this selection the way I want it. In this case, I want currency. So I pick currency. I want the symbol pound. I want it in 2 decimal places. You might not want it in 2 decimal places. It might just be 1. So let's do 2 and OK. And then we have that. So it looks nice and pretty. This is an example. This is like a table in Excel. I want, these are my headings. I want it to be bigger. All you need to do is also go to that, right click. And when you right click, it's pressing your right mouse button. Format cells, number. If I go to font, I want to make this bigger. I want to make it bold. I can click on bold. I can pick another size. I want 14. And all I need to do is OK. Another way, I'm going to undo that. Another way of making this bold, the shortcut, is this bold button here. So I can just click B, and then it's bold. You can change your font here. So I can pick a different font. I can decide to go with Arial. I can change the size here to 14. So we have a lot of shortcuts on the task bar here. If I want to fill this, I want to make it nicer. Let's color it green. If you look at my price item, it's now too big for this cell, so I can't really see everything. You can make that column bigger by just putting your cursor between the 2 columns, press your mouse button down and drag it to the side, and then you make that bigger. I want to put this in a proper table. I want it to have grid lines. All I need to do is select my old table. And if you see this button here, these are my borders. So I can use any of these borders. Let's use all borders. And you can see that I have borders. I can decide to make the outside border big or thicker, and then I have that. So you can play around with this. I can change the lettering, the color of the letters as well. You have a range of colors that you can choose from here to change the letters. And once you hover on any of the colors, you can see what you achieve. You see it at the background, you see the changes. So even before you commit, you actually see what it will look like. So let's see, let's pick this color. So this is just a simple table. And before we go on, I'm just going to use this table to explain what all this can do. So this is my table. I don't want it here anymore. I don't want it in the cells. I want to move it to another part of my spreadsheet. So maybe I want to move it to like from J to O. You can select everything. And remember, the way you select is click on the first one, hold your mouse button down, drag it to wherever you want to finish the selection and release the mouse button. And then you have all that selected. I want to move this to another part of the spreadsheet. So you can basically just, if you look at my cursor, when I put it on my selection, can you see that it's changed? Once it changes to that, like that cross with arrows, you just need to press down your mouse button and then drag it. So once it changes to that, press it down, and you see it moving across, and you can move it anywhere you want. So I've now moved it to the side. I'm just going to undo that. Another way of doing that is I can cut this and paste it somewhere else. So I already have it selected. If I click on cut, you can see that you can see some lines around it wavering. And then I just go to where I want to put that. All I need to do is paste. And then it moves from where it was before and it moves to the new place. I would undo that. If I need to duplicate this, for instance, so this is my Tesco list. And I want to make another list for Asda. And these are the same things I want to buy. I don't have to type this all over again. I can just copy this. So I would select again, click on copy, go somewhere else on my spreadsheet and click on paste. There are also shortcuts that you can use to copy. From your keyboard, Ctrl+C is copy. And Ctrl+V, so pressing your Ctrl button and your C button is copy. And then you click wherever you want to put it, and pressing your Ctrl and V is paste. So I would undo that again. So these are these buttons here. Format Painter. So remember when we added the pound sign to these numbers, and I have 20 here. I don't want to, because I already have this format here. I want to change this 20 to that same format. So what the Format Painter does is it would copy the format of a particular cell and paste it on another cell. So this cell here already has a format I want. I want the pound sign. So I need to click on that cell, select that cell, click on the Format Painter, and click on 20. Can you see that that 20 now has a pound sign because it's copying the format? If you look at this one that we have colored and we've changed the color of the letter, if I want my Tesco to have this formatting, I need to just select the product, click on Format Painter, click on Tesco, and then you have that. So you can literally use that to change the formatting of anything, as long as you have that format already. Instead of like doing different steps again, you can just copy and paste the format. Okay, so we have our list in Tesco, and we can use any of these buttons to like edit, to format. You can use that. That is italics. You can underline with that. And then we have this set of buttons here. These are alignment buttons. So if you want to, it depends on how you want to align. If you notice, Tesco here is like on the left side of the cell. If I want it to be in the middle, I click on this, that's the center alignment, and then it moves it to the middle. If I want it to the right, I click on this right alignment and move it to the right. I want it back on the left, and click on this. The good thing with all the stats is once you put your cursor on it, it will tell you what that button is going to do. So you actually know what you're doing. So you can see that this shows align text to the left. So you know that it's going to move that text to the left. And then if I move to the center one, it says center. So I know that it's going to move it to the center. The same thing applies to these ones at the top. So this is aligning to the top or middle or bottom. So to show that, I'm just going to expand this. So this text code is aligned to the bottom of this cell. If I want to align it to the top, I just need to click on this and it aligns to the top. I want it in the middle, I put it in the middle. And then down, I want it down. And this, what this would do, this can angle it. So I'm sure you've seen some tables that you have the headings angled. So if we angle, so that is angling it, that's counterclockwise. Let's do angle clockwise. Vertical text, and that is vertical. So you can use this, rotate text up. So you can actually play around with this and, you know, so you can actually play around with this and format the way you want. I don't want my text code to look like this because I've done so many things. So I want to undo. But if you notice, I've clicked a couple of buttons, but I want to go back to the initial text code I had. So what I'll do, if you look at this undo button, instead of clicking the undo button, there's an arrow beside the undo button. So I'll click on this arrow and it will list everything I've done. So you can see row height, I've done bottom alignment, I've done left alignment, I've done all this. So I want to take it back to when, yeah. So just when I had it underlined, and that is it. So you can go steps back. And the same way, this is redo. So you can also go steps forward. So if I change my mind again and I realize, oh, I want it angled, I can go back and just redo everything I've done. So I would go back and go back to underline. Okay. So these are the basic buttons of Excel. And then we'll get to the other ones as we go along. So we have our basic table, and we're going to just put some formulas, something you can use, everyday formulas in this. So our purpose, main goal is to cost this thing off, to know how much we're going to spend in Tesco and make sure it's within that £20 budget that we have. I doubt it will be, but let's see. So milk, my total for milk, I'm just going to type total for milk here. And a bottle of milk is £1 and I want to buy 2. So in simple math terms, that means 2 times 1, right? Or 1 times 2. You can literally you can do that same formula on Excel. So what I'm going to do to put a formula on Excel, you're going to start with equal to. So you select the cell you want to, click on the cell you want to put the formula in, click on equal to. Once you put your equal to, you're telling Excel that I want to put a formula here. So Excel is ready, for your formula. And then milk, I'm buying 2 bottles of milk and they're £1 each. If you're writing it on paper, it's 2 times 1, right? We're going to do the same thing on Excel. However, instead of using that 1, I'm going to click where the 1 is. So it's going to be this, which is that £1 times, that's your time sign, is a star sign, times 2. So I'm not typing in the 1, I'm not typing in the 2, but I'm selecting the cell where those things are. So once you do that, and then you press enter, I'm going to format it so that we know that it is a pound. I'm going to put a pound sign. I'm just going to use my format painter and format it. So milk is going to cost me £2. So tomatoes, £5 each, and I'm buying 5. So that is 5 times 5, right? Because I've already put my formula in this cell F3, I don't have to repeat that formula. All I need to do is drag that down. So I'm just going to drag that formula down. And the way you drag it is once you select the cell, once you find that bottom corner, hold your mouse down and then drag it down. And can you see what it's done? It has actually calculated everything and is looking at, so if you look at this, it's looking at D4, which is cell D4 and E4. So I'm just going to click on it and then you can see where it's looking at. You can see the blue highlight and the green highlight. So it's going to show you where that formula, the cell that formula is looking at. So if there's a formula in a cell, if you click on it, on the address bar, you will be able to see the cells that formula is looking at. So now I know that if I buy 5 mangoes, it's going to cost me 50 pounds. And you can see butter, I'm only buying 1, which is 8 pounds. So Excel will calculate everything for you because it's just looking at the address. So you're just saying, so when we put this address in, we are saying, look on the cell, 2 cells away, multiply it by 1 cell away, 1 cell to your left. So 2 cells to your left, multiply by 1 cell to your left. And then it will do the same thing all the way down once you drag it down. So we have all these items, and I want to see how much. I don't know if you have any questions, if you put it on the chat, then I will get to them. And then I want to know how much this is going to cost in total. So I need to add all this up. I can do it in 2 ways. I can do it in several ways, actually. So, if it's on paper, I will write 2 plus 25 plus 10 plus 8 plus 50 plus 56 and so on. I can do the same thing here, but in a faster way. If you look at my buttons here, there's something called AutoSum here. So if I want to sum this, so I can just click on AutoSum. And what it does is it looks beside it and see where you're trying to sum. Sometimes when you can see that where it's taking. So it's taking my sum. So it sends that is what I'm going to sum. So it will select it. If this is not what I want to sum, I can always change it. So this is fine, then I press enter. If, for instance, so 205, that's a far cry to our 20 pounds. I think we should increase our budget to like 100 to make it more realistic. So I'm gonna delete this and do another sum. So if it's on paper, you want to like add 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 25 plus 10. You can actually do that. It will be equal to, but you click on the cell, this plus this plus the next cell plus this plus this. But this is really time consuming, and it would add it up. But imagine if you have a long, very multiple rows, then you're going to have to do that a lot. That is only good if you are just adding a few cells. So just for completeness, I'm going to do plus this plus this plus this this plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this. So for completeness, I'm going to do this. Another way of doing it is to type a range, to put it in a range. So I can say equal to, I want to sum this. So I will say equal to sum, open your bracket, and then I want to put my range. So all you need to do is put the range that you want to sum, close the bracket, and that is it. So you have a couple of ways of doing it. I can go back to my AutoSum. Okay, delete. And then that's the fastest way. And then once you do your AutoSum, if you don't want it, if you want to sum something else, for instance, I have my AutoSum, you can literally just drag, just expand that, and then you're summing this. Or just expand that, and that is what you're summing. But that's not what I want, so I'll just do that again. So we have 205, and our budget is £100. So because this is looking at cells and the formulas are not hard coded, to fit within my £100, I would now decide, what do I need to take out of this? Do I need 5 mangoes? No, I don't need 5 mangoes. Let's reduce that to 1. So instead of 5, I'm typing 1 there and enter. And you can see that everything will change automatically. The total cost of mango will change to £10. And then my total has changed. So I know that I'm getting closer to my £100. So for instance, okay, let's assume that, the tomatoes I was planning to buy is a special brand that I love, but because I can't afford it, let me buy a cheaper one. I know there's a cheaper one that costs £3. So I can change the price of that and put 3. And then what happens? My total will change. So you can literally change any of this data, and then your total will continue to change. I still need to be within my £100. So I want to buy just 2 bottles of juice, just a pack of salt. This mango is organic. I'll buy the regular mango that costs £2. And then you can see that my sum is reducing. It's almost the £100. I want to know what the difference between this £100 and this. So this is my budget. So this is my budget, and that is £100. And cost. My cost is equal to this one. So you can see that I didn't have to type this total under my cost. All I needed to do to bring this total here, so I'm linking these 2 cells, is just type equal to, and I'm saying equal to this cell F13 and enter. And this is A. What is the difference? My difference is equal to is basically minus. So when you're writing it on paper, you will say, this is my budget, £100 minus my cost, 134.5. So in this case, I will just select the cell. So it would be equal to my budget cell, which is H13, minus my cost, which is I13. So you can see that I put it, this is negative because I am going to be overspent by 34.5. So I still need to reduce this more. I will reduce tomatoes to 1. I will reduce bananas to 1. And I will buy the regular banana, not the organic ones. So that cost me £2. So I've been able to reduce this to 94.50. So I know that when I go, these are the things I would pick. And I probably have £5.50 left. If I want to spend exactly £100, all I need to do is just adjust this. And you have like just a budget, a basic, Excel working document. And the next time I'm going to Tesco, probably I'm not buying these particular things. I want to buy something else. So I would move this here. I'll move this down. So maybe next time I'm going to Tesco, I don't want these particular items, or I don't want all of them, but I want some extra things. All I have to do is select my last row. I can just drag this down. So I have duplicate cheese, so I can just amend this one. So maybe I want nuts, I want sugar. I'm just going to add 2 more things just to make it simple. So I have nuts, I have sugar, and my nut is £2 and my sugar is £3, and I will just 1 to 1. But I don't want all these other things, so I can just change the quantity to 0. And then you can see my budget is still £100. I'm just changing this formula to, and then I'm only spending £40. So in this case, I still have £59.50. So this is good. Like if you have like a small business and you want to like put the cost of, the cost of your raw materials, your stock, and then the quantity, and then your sales price. And then you'll be able to see how much profit you would make on particular items. So you have like a small business. you itemize your raw materials and the quantity and how much it costs, and then you itemize how much you sell them for, and then you can actually find the difference between the two. So this is just basic table and editing and formatting. So this table, for instance, I want to add another column. You can add columns and rows to tables. So I want to add another between product and price item. I want to add like the brand of these things I'm buying. And I want it to be between the product and the price item. All you need to do, you can create a new column between column C and D. So if you right click on D, and you can see this insert button. So if you click on insert, you can see it has created a new column for us. So I'll do that again. Select the column, right click and insert. And then this is my brand that I'm putting in. The same thing, you can do the same for rows. You can right click and insert, and then you have a new row. So you don't have to do it over again. And then the same way you can insert, you can delete. So right click, delete. I can right click and delete this. So it is actually very flexible. And also, I think we've done copy and paste. So we have some other buttons here that you can use for like percentages, for instance. So you want to find a percentage of, that might be, so this is our total for all these items. I want to find percentages of what I'm spending out of this total. So you can use the percentage, but you're going to have to put formulas in it. So, and you know, percentage is a number over another number times 100. And to do the times 100, you can use the percentage here. And what it's saying is this 15 pounds is 37% of my total cost. And I'm just going to go back to our topics and see. So yeah, let's go back to filling. So if you remember, you know, when I filled the numbers, you can fill to the right. So you can fill on rows as well as fill on columns. I have one here, I've typed one here, and I want to fill this down. I want to fill it horizontally up to 20. And all you need to do is select it. Put your cursor on the bottom right, press your left mouse down and drag it. Did you notice that this did not, what I intended to do is to fill it, is to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 20. But it has not filled because it doesn't know what I want to do. But I'm going to tell it now what I want to do. So if you look at this side, you see that there's a button here that has appeared. And this is my autofill options. So I will click on the button, the arrow down. So what it has done, it has just copied the cell because yes, I might want to copy the cells. But in this case, I want to fill it. So I will click on fill series. And then it would change it to series. And I can drag it. I'll just leave it at 10. Another way of doing this fill series is it copied because I only had one typed. If I do one, and if I type in 1 and 2, and then I select the 2 and drag it, automatically I'm telling Excel that I want series. So if I do that, then it just fills it as a series. And then the same thing happens the way down. So I have to tell it, if I only select one, it will copy. Then I can change it to, I can fill series. It might be that I want to so it copies the numbers as well as the formatting, but I might not want to copy the formatting down. So for instance, if we format this and color this gray, I want to fill a series up to 10. So this is, well, up to 15. What it has done is filled it down and it's copied the formatting, which is the green color, but I don't want the green color to be copied. So all you can do is you can fill without formatting. And even though it has filled it, it has left the formatting behind. So you might want to do that on some data that you don't want to like copy the formatting, and then you can do that. So we've been doing all this work, and we need to, so that we don't lose the work, you need to save it on your spreadsheet, on your laptop or desktop. So the way to save this is if you click, there's this button here, which is your save button. So you can literally just click on that, and then it will ask you, if you haven't saved it before, it will ask you where you want to place it. So it's going to ask you, it will come up with a box where you want to place it. Or you can click on here and save as, and then you can pick what you want to save it as. So there are different formats of Excel. There's another save button here that you can use. So you need to always ensure that you save your document so that you don't lose it if anything happens. So you can always save that, and you can always go back to it by clicking on in the folder where you've saved it, and you can continue whatever you are doing. So this whole sheet here that you're looking at is one sheet. There are different, you can have different sheets in Excel. So if you look at the bottom left here, there's sheet 1. We're working on sheet 1. Sheet 2 is a blank sheet, so you can do anything you want. And then you can have as many sheets. I don't know what the limit is, but if you click on this, you can continue to have, multiple sheets. And what you can do, you can also change the name of this sheet so that to differentiate it. So in this case, this is my Tesco list. I want to change the name to Tesco. So if you right click here, rename Tesco, and then you change it. You can change the tab color. All you need to do is right click and change the tab color. You see the tab color. Let me see if we have any questions. So, sorry, I'm just going to go through the questions to see if we have anything. Please, where did we get the equal to sign? Okay. Okay, so equal to is on your keyboard. So if you have a regular key, it's usually on on your laptop where the numbers are 1, 2, 3, and then you have minus and you have plus. So your equal to sign is usually with the plus sign. So if you just click it, it's just there. So that's your equal to. So the difference between, oh, sorry, I'm missing some questions. What's the difference between save as and save? Okay. And oh, sorry, the multiplication sign. The multiplication sign is your star. It's like a star. So on your keyboard, I don't know what type of keyboard you have, but you would have a button that has that star on it. I've got it. Yeah, number 8. If you're using a laptop, is with number 8. So you can get a star on number 8, and your number 8, you have to press your shift button to get that. I have another button that is just star on mine. So that is, yeah, the asterisk. Thank you. What's the difference between save as and save? So save is when you click save, if it's a new document that you haven't saved before, it would work as save as. So it will ask you where you want to save that document. If it's something that if it's a file that you have saved before, when you click on save, it will just save it where you have saved it before. If it's a file that I want to save it as something else. So for instance, if my file is Tesco and I've saved it in my folder A, If I want to save it with another name and save it in a different folder, I will use Save As. So I will click on Save As, and then it will ask me what I want to name it and where I want to save it. So that's the difference between the two. So if it's just a document you're already working on, save is fine. But if you want to save it somewhere else, then you use Save As. So save as something else or as another format. That's the main difference. Okay. So where are we? Let's see. So we've done selecting. We've gone through selecting, and it would be when you want to select anything, any cell, click on the cell. 2 cells, click on the first cell, hold your mouse button down and drag it. If you want to select a whole column, so these are the columns, all you need to do is click on that column and then it's selected. So anywhere you click, you will see the selection that you have made. If you want to select a row, you click on the row. It might be that you want to select the whole column. I want to just delete the whole column. So you select the column, this, and just press delete on your keyboard, and you've deleted it. You want to delete butter, we'll delete butter. And you want to, I want to remove this row because I've deleted butter. I'll right click and delete. If you notice, my numbers are not in serial order anymore because I've deleted number 4. So all I need to do is select these two and fill it down again. So I will just fill it down. And then I have 10 again. And just going to the topic and selecting clone, viewing. Like if we have a longer cell, selecting column and selecting rows work when you want to like maybe format longer cells. So if you have like multiple rows, so you can just select everything and format the whole thing. So I'm selecting this row and then I want to change that to like pink. And then as far down as you can go, that whole column, sorry, is now pink. I would undo that. And you can do the same thing for rows. I want to print this and file it. Printing in Excel, I will click on my home button and there is print. But before I print, I want to know what this will look like when I print it. And what I do is I'll go to page layout. And you can actually use print preview. So if you go click on print and print preview, and this will show you what it's going to look like on paper when you print it. So I can close print preview. I'm going to do something now. Clear print area. Okay. I changed this print area just to show you something. So I want to print this document, print. No, not print, print preview. Print preview. If you look at this, my print preview, it's not showing everything I have on that spreadsheet. I don't have my headings here. And this is not what I want. I want to print everything on one spreadsheet. I'm going to close print preview now. And I'm going to show you a shortcut. Okay, there are 3 buttons here, just below your spreadsheet on the bottom right hand. And if you click on this one here, it would show you the the print layout. It will show you what is going to print. So this is called the page break preview. So this is what is going to print. So when you click print, this is what will come out from your printer. But because I want to print everything, I want everything to be included. You can see this blue line. I can drag it. So all I need to do is put my cursor on that blue line, press my left mouse button down and drag it. So I want to print that and I want it to show the heading as well. I don't want this 51% to show. I don't want it on my document. So I haven't, it's not selected. So I can go back to the regular view. That's a normal view using this button, the first button on the bottom, and just do normal. And then I know that once I do print preview, I'm going to get everything. You can also change the way your print looks by using page setup. So if you click on page setup, I'm going to move this to the side. So this is going to print in portrait. I probably don't want it in portrait. Maybe I want it in landscape. If you click on landscape, then it will print in landscape. That means it will be horizontal on the paper when it comes out. And then I can change margins. Margins will be the space you want, around your document. So you can use this function to change it. Header and footer is if you want a particular header. This is like a more advanced. So I will leave that and okay. And then if you notice my print preview, my page is now horizontal. So this is how it will come out if that is the way I want that document. So I'll close print preview. And of course, it doesn't change the way you're looking at it in the normal view. It would still appear the same. It's just that when you print it, it would be horizontal as against portrait. Okay, let's do some more formatting. Okay, I'm gonna drag this. Which one? How do you get a currency sign? There are different ways to get the currency sign. Okay, so let's type 100 here. The currency sign, I'll go to my home button. Can you see this? This looks like coins. It will show you, once you hover on it, it will say accounting. It will show you what it would do, accounting number format. That is where my currency is. So that is a shortcut to the currency. So you can just use the drop down arrow. You can pick dollars. You can pick euro, and that is where you get the currency sign. Another way of doing this, I will undo that, is you can actually go to you can pull the box out, your format box. This is your format box. So you can, the way you get it out is there's this little arrow here, click on that, you get your format cells box. Or you can right click and format cell, and you get this box as well. And then you go to currency. So here you have your currencies, and you have a lot more currencies here than in the shortcut. So the shortcut only has like 3, and here you can choose any one you want. And that is how you get, that's how you get the currency sign. I'm gonna see, any more questions? No. Okay. So more on formatting. So that on the number formatting, I'm just going to bring it out. So we look through formatting, because formatting is really important. It can make or break your spreadsheet, as in it can make it easy to read or make you not want to look at it at all. And once your spreadsheet is well formatted, it would look really nice. If we look at, let's look at fonts. So I've selected pitch here, and I want to take pitch. I want to put a strike through pitch, because maybe I don't want to delete pitch, but I want it to show there, but I want to show that I'm not buying it. So you can put a strike through pitch. So if you look at that, that is what is going to, you have a preview button here that will show you what it will look like. So let's do okay. And then you can see that my pitch, I've put a strike through it. I'm going to open up the format cell again, and then we'll just see different things that the formatting can do. You can do a superscript, and this is what it will look like, or a subscript, which it will look like this. So that's a subscript. which makes it small, and a superscript also makes it small, but to the top. So you can do all that depending on what you're doing. Let's formatting. Let's go back to formatting. So on the formatting, so you have your general formatting, you have your number formatting. And your number formatting, you can decide to use like a comma separator for your thousands or leave it as it is. So 20,000. 20,000, I want to put a comma, you know, to show so that when you look at it, it's clearer that it's 20,000. You can right click and then number, and then I check this. I don't want it to have decimal places, so I take this down to 0 and okay. And then I have the comma there. I'll undo this. Another way of putting the comma in is there is a comma here. And once I click on it, it will do that same thing. I'm just expanding the column. I don't want these 2 decimal places. So these are the buttons. These are the shortcuts to remove decimal place. So I can remove decimal place with this. So all I need to do is click twice and it will remove it. I want the decimal places. I click this and it puts it back. So you can click as many times as you want and then do the opposite as well. So that's number formatting. Tesco, I might want to like, so when you have a lot of words like going shopping, if you notice that this, I'm going shopping, I'm going to put something else here. So I typed in I'm going shopping here, but you can't really see it because I have something on the cell next to it. What I want to do is I want this sentence to just fit into that cell. I want to be able to see it. You can use your wrap text for it. So if I click on wrap text, what it does is it would expand that cell to fit what I've typed in. So you can see it. Another way of doing it, if you don't want to use wrap text, it might be that you want to like drag and expand the column, and then you will be able to see it as well. So what wrap text does is it would expand the row to fit what you have written, what you have typed in. If there was no Tesco beside it, then it will just spill over to the next cell and then you see it. But if you have all the cells used up, then you might not see everything. All you need to do is just wrap text and then you would see it. Merge and center. You can use merge and center. So we have different individual cells here. You can actually use merge and center to merge 2 or more cells together. So I've selected 6 cells here. If I click on merge and center, if you notice, I don't know if you can see it, but if you can see the grid line has disappeared. So this is appearing as one cell. So if I type in it appears as if it's one cell because you have merged it and then so it's merged and centered. I can undo that. I can just click merge and center and then you can see the difference. So you can use merge and center to merge and center things. See what. Just looking through to see what we have done. So there are some simple formulas, you can use in Excel, like the sum. Your formulas are here, but we will not go into formulas today because formulas are more advanced. But there are some simple things you can use in Excel for the basic level, like what we've done. You can add, so you can use a sum, which is you can just literally just click on one cell, just put your equal to first, click on one cell, plus another cell, and you're basically adding together. You can also subtract, and it would be equal to, click on that cell, minus the next cell. So wherever you want to do, you can do it by so you're just saying, Excel, look at this cell, take it away from this cell. So that is, you're using addresses. So these cells, they all have their different addresses. And that is the reason why we can actually drag formulas down, and then it would pick the cell that you're referencing. So these are called relative referencing. Just saying. The plus and minus signs are on your keyboard. So your plus and minus signs, they are on your keyboard. So your plus sign is the same button, is the same button as your equal to sign. Your minus sign is also beside it. So it depends on the keyboard you have, but you definitely have those keys on your keyboard. Do we have any other questions? I think our time is up. If you have any other questions, let me know, and then I can quickly address that before we finish today. Okay, so I hope this has been useful. I mean, what you need to do is just play around with it, really, and that is the way to perfect your Excel skills. Just play around with it, and you can always, anything you do that you don't like, you can always undo, and then you can redo, and just play around with it, really. This is just the basic. You can use any type of Excel 97. I'm not even sure which one I'm on, really. So I have different versions of Excel, but they are mainly the same thing. The only thing different would be, maybe the setup of the task bar here, where things are. So sometimes, you might have a key that you normally use, but you can't find it on a new version or something. So it's basically the same thing. So today, what are we using today? I think this is an old version, really. I think this is, let me see. I'm just going to check the one we're using today. This is 2007. So this is 2007. That's what we're using today, which is I think it's quite old now, because I have some other versions that are much newer, and then you find out that you just find out that you just have to get used to where the task bars are. Okay. Thank you for joining in today. I think we're going to round up now. Let's see, any other questions? Thank you. Thanks for joining in, everyone. See you next week. We're going to do some more advanced stuff next week. Take care. Bye.